Welcome to Let's Talk Pokemon, the podcast where we talk about everything and anything Pokemon. And happy Pokemon Legends Arceus Day, or at least by the time you're listening to this episode, Legends of Arceus has already been released. Actually, at the time of recording, I'm waiting outside of the store I'm supposed to go pick it up for the midnight release. I was surprised that GameStop was doing a midnight release, but it seems that there is a huge influx of people wanting to buy this game. So I definitely had to go and pre-order it like earlier yesterday, and then now I went in earlier today to get my ticket, and now I'm waiting out at GameStop. Just to pick up my game, but I'm trying to debate if I really want to go on to this little bit of a rant that I had, because I had an interesting interaction or conversation with GameStop employees about this game, and I guess I'll just say it, and you guys let me know if you think that this is actually, like, if there's some sort of validity behind this story. Like, GameStop gets a lot of bad rep. Like, for whatever reason, mainly like because of their trade-ins, right? That you buy a $60 game and they give you like $5 back. Like, that's an exaggeration, by the way, but they're always so bad with the trade-ins. Like, people don't like really trade them in, but they end up doing it anyway, and you don't really get that much of a good value out of it. And there's other things with GameStop, like their service, and they're always pushing like the rewards card and all that stuff. Regardless, it doesn't matter. I mean, there are some good times and good things to go to GameStop for, and midnight release has always been a thing for me with GameStop. Like, I went to go pick up my Halo games midnight when it came, like Halo 5 and Halo 3 and all that at GameStop, or any other game that I really wanted to play. But when it came to this game, right? So I pre-ordered my copy yesterday, and today I called like around 5:30, and I said, hey, I know you guys told us to come in between 6 and 10 to get the finalized ticket to go pick up the game at midnight. I may not be able to make it through that 6 to 10 time frame. I already pre-ordered. I already paid it off. Can I just come in at 12 and just pick up my game? Now, to be fair, right? If that is their strict ruling of, hey, you have to come in between 6 and 10, get the itemized ticket, and people that can only pick up the itemized ticket, or I'm sorry, people that can pick up the game should have the itemized ticket on their receipt. Those are the only people to get it. Okay, that's fine. If that's your strict ruling, hey, I'm not going to argue with you. That's your process. I mean, it's cool that you're even doing a midnight release to begin with. That's fine. But, in the past, I've been able to do that. I've been able to come in at midnight and just, I didn't go earlier to get my ticket, but, I was like one of the last few people. I was the last person in line, and I was like, hey, I got a copy of my pre-ordered game. So with that being said, when I called to ask them this, it was like a very weird, like, hesitant, like they didn't say no, but they also didn't say yes. And the first person I talked to was like, well, you really got to come in during this time because, we may not have enough for tonight. And, if you want to purchase a copy, we may not be able to guarantee you one because there may not be enough. And I'm thinking in my head, like, I didn't ask to buy a new game, like another copy. I'm asking to pick up my pre-ordered copy. And so I was trying to clarify this situation with the first person I talked to. I was like, okay, listen, like, because she said outright, like, she wasn't sure. Like, she doesn't know. Like, she doesn't really, she's not completely confident in her answer. I was like, okay, well, is there someone else that is going to work the midnight that you can pass the phone to that I can, get that clarification for? And maybe I sounded like a jerk. Maybe I sounded rude. And because I was very, I don't know, uneasy about the answer and the way that she was answering, but I think she was new, so I felt bad. But, then the second person came on who happens to be, more years in the company, and that's because when I went to the store later, I saw the two people that I talked to. I asked her the same thing. Can I come pick up my game at midnight without getting the ticket? And she was like, well, there's only so many copies that we have, and we may not have enough depending on the influx of people that come in. So it's really a good idea that you just come earlier and, get your pre-order ticket, and, that way you can come back later with a ticket and pick your copy up. But that phrasing, like, please, like, if I'm misinterpreting this somehow, like, if there's like a phrase or wording I'm not understanding, let me know. But it just sounded like she thought I was trying to buy another copy. I was like, no, listen, I have a pre-ordered copy. I just want to pick my pre-ordered copy up. Can I just do that? I'm not looking to buy a new one. She's like, well, we may not have enough. I'm like, so you're telling me that you don't have enough for all your pre-orders? And then she's like, well, there's a couple of boxes, so we probably do have enough. I'm like, okay. So, am I, like, if I were not to come, am I not going to get a copy tomorrow? She's like, well, in the morning, you just got to call in the morning and ask them, because usually that's the first thing you do is put the pre-orders off to the side. I'm like, but that's still, it was such a sketchy conversation. It was so frustrating. And it almost seemed like they could have easily said, yeah, just come in at midnight. That's fine. We'll give it to you then. You just have to wait and be the last person in line. But it almost sounded like, if other people were to come and they didn't have their pre-orders, right, but they just wanted to buy the game at midnight because they just found out the last second, hey, GameStop's open at midnight for the game, and they just sold out all their copies, and then I just rolled up being the very, very, very last person that showed up and was like, hey, I'm here to pick up a pre-order. I'd be like, oh, we don't have any more. We give all the pre-orders out. They didn't give us enough. Like, it just sounded like it was going to be one of those things where they're going to do everything possible to guarantee their sales at the risk of losing a pre-order. Like, it just felt so weird, and it felt so off, and I'm just like, oh, whatever. So I inconvenienced myself. I had to go out of my way at a later time. Well, not later time, but, like, I wasted enough time in traffic and everything to get to the store, got my pre-order ticket, and now I'm waiting outside for the midnight launch for the game. But it's just, I just, if anyone works for GameStop, be anonymous as you want. You can email me at spartanstrike07@gmail.com just to let me know, like, what was I misinterpreting, or is my suspicion accurate? Because it still bugs me to this day how that conversation went down. Okay, sorry about that rant. Not exactly how I wanted to start off this podcast, but it felt good to get that out. So thank you for listening to that. But again, happy Pokemon Legends of Arceus. Hopefully you're enjoying the game. Hopefully it exceeds your expectations or maybe meets your expectations. Seems like it's getting a lot of reviews. People are very excited for it. I don't really see that much negativity behind it, or at least not a lot of negative comments about it. There's a few nitpicks here and there. I did look at most of the leaks, not all, but most of the leaks, especially some of the new Pokemon that are there. That's definitely what the starter evolutions look like, the final evolutions. But just rest assured, I probably should have said this at the beginning, I am not going to talk about anything Legends of Arceus. Like, I'm not going to talk to leaks. I'm not going to talk about any other expectations for the game or anything like that. I said all that in my overview episode. I think it was my last episode that I did that. I'm not talking anything else about Legend of Arceus other than just say, hope you're enjoying the game, and that next week or the next episode I publish would be my initial impressions of the game. I don't know how much of the game I'm going to be able to play this weekend. I'm really hoping in my head, I'm thinking like I can clear out my schedule enough where I can like just dedicate my entire weekend to it. I don't really know, but at least I'll be several hours in and have enough info to kind of give my initial takes on the game and just talk about that and see where that leads, that conversation goes, and whether it's good, bad, worth the $60, not worth $60. We'll see. Like I said, the reviews are very positive for it for the most part. There were like maybe a handful of reviews that were very like mediocre, like not terrible, but like, not like super innovating or great. But it always comes down to what your personal preference is and what your opinion on it, and I'm just going to give my initial takes because I am looking forward to this game, and we'll see if it, is able to carry on that excitement going forward. So again, hopefully you're enjoying it, but let's not talk about that. I do want to talk about the TCG. We got some new updates about a new set that is coming out, because we do have the Brilliant Stars set coming out, I think, in about a month, actually. I think it comes out around the same time, if not the same day, as Pokemon Day in February. And, that set's getting a lot of hype, maybe mainly because Arceus, who happens to have the game title as well. Arceus V seems to be like a really good card. It's also got a lot of different art versions to collect and stuff. And V stars are just in general like it's just a new mechanic that people are looking forward to try to test. There's a Charizard V star, and so there is quite a bit of hype behind this set, and but you know, even with that set coming out, we already kind of get an idea what the next set after that is. So I don't know if there's a lot of buzz or hype around it. It's an interesting set, but I do kind of just want to bring up some things about, at least from a collector standpoint, my own standpoint as a collector in the TCG, because I fell out of just playing the game. Like, I have a deck. It's a Tapu Koko V deck, and I play it, you know, when I go help out the store, run Pokemon for a couple hours there, and I play against other people. It's a nice deck, but like I don't have any like drive to do competitive TCG at the moment, especially since scalpers with the whole issue of like not being able to find Pokemon product kind of ruined a lot of that for me. But regardless, yeah, it's just the set that's coming out, I think, is gonna create some more buzz. I think the TCG is not slowing down at all. I know we still have TCG Live that we're still waiting for updates on, which I still think we're gonna get something on Pokemon Day. Maybe they might release the beta on Pokemon Day. I think that would be cool and exciting. But you know, as we're waiting for that, we only have the next sets to look forward to, and so there's a lot of going on with the TCG. And like I said, the main topic I wanted to get to is about really the next set that we have coming up, which is called Battle Legion. And I emphasized like the question mark for that because on Poke Beach, the article that I'm reading off of, they say it's Battle Legion. Although I have seen quite often on social media this set being referred to Battle Region. Either one I think works, but it's hard to tell like who's right, I guess, because it doesn't seem like either one of them corrected themselves. I'm kind of leaning towards Poke Beach because that's what they do. They mainly report on TCG news, so I kind of would trust them a little bit more. But because so many other people on social media are often are using the other phrase Battle Region more, I don't know. It's kind of a weird. Not a predicament, but just like, what are we gonna call it? Battle sets? Like, just leave out the Legion/region part? I don't know, but it is a set that is coming out in Japan on February 25th. I believe Poke Beach reports this as being what could be our June set for this year. It's like a little special set that'll be coming out. And the main thing about this set is that it's got shiny Pokemon again. But not just like any other typical shiny Pokemon card. It's on a new mechanic, or it introduces a new mechanic, and these Pokemon are called Sparkling Pokemon. Their name has sparkling in front of it. So, for instance, the two Pokemon they revealed was Greninja and Hawlucha, but the card name would say Sparkling Greninja or Sparkling Hawlucha. So let me just go ahead and kind of read off a tidbit of information here off of Poke Beach, and then I'll kind of give my 2 cents on this. Battle Legion will introduce a new type of Pokemon card called Sparkling Pokemon. As the name implies, they are shiny Pokemon with sparkling in their name. They are powerful basic Pokemon, so you can only include one in your deck. That's very important, that you can only have one sparkling Pokemon in your deck. I do kind of want some clarification though, like as in one, like if I could have a Sparkling Greninja and a Sparkling Hawlucha, that's fine, or can I only have one Sparkling Pokemon in general? I want to say it's just like I can only have one of that kind of Sparkling Pokemon, but it is a basic. So the Greninja they showed off, it is a basic card. You put it down right away, and then off you go. We'll read what the card says in just a bit. But it says here, sparkling Pokemon have the special texture associated with secret rares. They also feature a new reverse holo pattern that looks like cross-hatching. and they use a new K rarity, which likely stands for their Japanese name, Kagayaku. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Battle Legion will be a special strengthening expansion set like 2020's Legendary Heartbeat, which introduced amazing rares. Each booster pack will contain 6 cards instead of the usual 5 and cost 260 yen instead of 165 yen. That was actually irrelevant. I don't know why I read that part, but you get the idea. Okay, so the Sparkling Pokemon, this is what Greninja does. So I'm going to read off the card for those TCG players out there. Listen up. This might be something cool that you're interested in. Sparkling Greninja. This says here on the rule box, you can't have more than one Sparkling Pokemon in your deck. So if you were trying to use Hawlucha and Greninja, you actually can only choose one Sparkling Pokemon. That's going to be interesting. Alright, so Greninja has 130 HP. Has an ability called Concealed Card. Once during your turn, you may discard an energy card from your hand and then draw 2 cards. Now, that is actually pretty good because we did see that with Zoroark GX, I believe, where Zoroark was, that was the trade-off ability. You discard a card, you get to draw 2 cards. The only problem, or the only downfall, really, is that first of all, Sparkling Greninja, it's a specific card. You can't just discard any card. You have to discard an energy card. Also, you can only have one Sparkling Greninja, which means that you can't have like 4 on the bench and just go crazy like you used to do with Zoroark GX, where people would have 4 on the bench and just kind of draw through the deck. It's not the same. It's not the same get-go. But given maybe the meta that we're in right now, might be pretty good. It does have an attack for 2 water, 1 colorless, Moonlight Shuriken. Discard 2 energy from this Pokemon and do 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. So it's interesting that you had to put the initial 3 energies, 2 water, 1 colorless, but then now on top of that, once that's established, when you use the attack, you have to discard 2 energy from that Pokemon. So from Greninja, in order to do the 90 damage to 2 of your opponent's Pokemon. Do we have something that accelerates water energy? Because I feel like that would be okay, because you have your 1 attachment for the turn, but then you need something to kind of add that extra energy on there. So 90 damage to 2, I don't really see the powerfulness to it yet. But let's see Hawlucha, maybe that might make things different. Right off the bat, though, we're not starting off very strong. Sparkling Hawlucha has only 90 HP. Its ability, Big Match. If this Pokemon is on your bench, your Pokemon's attacks do 30 more damage to your opponent's active Pokemon VMAX. And VMAX are still fairly popular. I think the Urshifus as well as Mew, everyone plays the VMAXs the most. So obviously this card would do fairly well, kind of being a support for whatever deck you're trying to do to aim for those VMAXs. And then it has a 1 fighting, 1 colorless energy attack called Spinning Kick for 50 damage, which is weird. Obviously, I think the ability is where it's trying to capitalize on, but these sparkling Pokemon don't seem all that great, as in the sense of, why am I only allowed 1 sparkling Pokemon? Like, if I had, I can see that it would be an issue if like you could have more than 1 sparkling Hawlucha, because if you had 4, then that would be 120 damage added on to whatever attack you're going to use. So, I think mainly this would be something for collectors. The art on the Greninja card is beautiful, and the pose for the Hawlucha is pretty solid. The shiny coloring is cool, but I think the Greninja, between the two, the Greninja definitely gets the trophy for best looking card. And then along this list, they did show a couple of other Vs that are coming. There's a Starmie V. There is a Garchomp V coming out, which is, Garchomp's always a fan favorite, so people go crazy for that, especially when there's a full art. Lucario V-Star and Darkrai V-Star. People will love Darkrai. The set should be fine. I don't know, maybe as soon as they reveal more sparkling Pokemon, it'll generate a little bit more hype, but I don't think there's anything at the moment that's like, at least for me, making me go like, oh, I have to get this. Like, I have to collect those all. Like, sure, Greninja's cool, but, it's not enough for me to want to pursue an entire set. And who knows how many cards are going to be in this. It is a special set, but, there could be 100, 200, 250 cards. I mean, this could be like a whole new set altogether, although that may not be likely. Special sets, tend to be somewhat shorter than actual regular Pokemon sets. Now, will people capitalize on this type of card because they're shiny Pokemon and maybe try to what word am I looking for? Try to scalp the prices on these? Maybe. I can see that happening, but I'm getting tired. I'm getting burnt out, and I think that's probably also what's contributing to my lack of excitement for this set. Is that because of what has happened, it is getting better, but because of what has happened with scalpers and buying up all the sets, like I'm just, you know what? If it comes to me, it comes to me. Like I'm not gonna go and pursue it. I'm not gonna go hunt it anymore. Like I'm kind of done, and it's sad. Because I used to love going and looking for Pokemon cards all the time, but now I'm just like, if it's there, cool. If not, I'm not really missing out on much at the moment. And so I don't know if Sparkling Pokemon is really going to bring that drive back in. Like, I feel like people would just jump on that wagon just because it's shiny Pokemon. Everyone loves shiny Pokemon. Everyone started collecting, yay! But it's really not going to be anything that over the top. I think it's cool still. I think it's an interesting mechanic. I'm curious how it'll play out in the meta, but I'm just gonna bide my time until it becomes more, I guess, readily available or more, just more available to people. I almost want TPCI, the Pokemon Company International, just stop gimmicks, like stop these special sets, because I think it's getting a little out of hand. I think it was cool that we had one every like couple years, or maybe that's what it had felt like initially, especially between, I think it was Shiny Legends and Dragon Majesty. But I mean, every single year, and now sometimes every other year, there's like 2 special sets. It's just, it gets too much. It's like, do they not think that we get burnt out on this, that we get discouraged when we go to the store and we don't see Pokemon cards? Like, at what point will TPCI like stop on the brakes and go, okay, well, hold on, we've pulled out too much, new things for Pokemon. We need to slow it down. We need to make sure fans don't feel overwhelmed or have this like sort of FOMO going on because they decided to skip on a set. Like, I think there needs to be a reevaluation on what they introduce and how they introduce it into the game. But I mean, I could be just talking just like off, like, without any sort of justification, because that's just my opinion. I know there's still people that are always going to be constantly excited for sets no matter what it's in there. Like, you could just put like a new Pikachu in there and people will just go crazy just for that Pikachu. I wonder how many Sparkling Pokemon are they going to do, because they didn't do all shiny Pokemon for every single Pokemon out there. The first time they did it, they obviously picked like the most popular ones. This second time around, they were like, I don't know, let's just give everyone a shiny version, and it was just too much to collect with the shiny vault and everything. So I'm curious with the Sparkling Pokemon, are they going to just collect on the fan favorites, or do they have like a specific goal in mind, specific Pokemon they want to choose? So it'd be interesting. I hope they kind of tame it enough though, so that collectors do want that ability or that kind of drive to like, okay, let's go out and look for these cards. These sort of gimmicks do drive up a lot of like the collectors, like the collector standpoint on things, like the value of these cards, especially when it's Charizard. Charizard will just always sell, and any little Charizard will bump up in value because all the other bigger Charizards get bumped up in value. But that may not always have to be the case. It's like, why? Like, it's a bad card. Like, some Charizard cards are pretty bad, and it's like, it's not playable. Why are you charging me $200 for that card? Who knows? I don't know what goes on in the mind of scalpers. I think it's weird that people are going to pay scalp prices for it, but hey, it's their money. If they want to go for that, I guess that's on them. But I hope that with TCG Live releasing this year, that will bring my interest or drive or sort of energy to be more excited for Pokemon card games, to get me back in and just be like, yeah, like, this is what I want to do. I think that's what I'm waiting for. I think that's what I want. And then, don't blame yourself if that's also what you're trying to just kind of balance out there. Like, if you're burnt out with the whole scalper prices, just stop buying Pokemon cards. Like, it hurts me to say that, but it's like, okay, it's okay to not always buy a booster pack when you see one. Like, I go to Publix and, like, right at the front, they would have, like, baskets of, like, old booster packs of Sword and Shield and stuff and Rebel Clash. But I'm like, nope, don't need it. Don't care. Like, it's interesting it's at Publix. Just want to buy one just to say I bought one at Publix, but it's just not worth it. Hopefully the card game kind of slows down after this. I do want to build a set that I want to compete with. In my hometown, there's a regionals competition coming up in April. I haven't decided if I want to partake. I probably won't, but if in the fact that I do, I want to be able to build a pretty decent deck with whatever cards come out by that time. And like, I don't know. We'll see what happens. But that's mainly what I wanted to bring up. That's mainly what I wanted to talk about and kind of just go off on a little mini rant about it. Sparkling Pokemon, something cool to look forward to. And hopefully it'll get us back into really wanting to collect Pokemon cards all over again. For those of us that have kind of taken a leave of absence from it. All right. That's pretty much it for that episode. Let's go ahead and do as we usually do. End it with, of course, the Pokedex trivia, where I read to you a Pokedex entry from any of the Pokemon games about a particular Pokemon, a mystery Pokemon that you are going to have to guess. I do not give you the game that the entry comes from, but I do give you some hints over like the next 30 seconds, a minute or so, for you to lock down your answer, and then I reveal who the Pokemon is. So without further ado, if you are ready, here we go. This is your Pokedex trivia for this episode. With its ability to distinguish any smell, it unfailingly finds all food buried deep underground. It's actually not a bad Pokedex entry. It doesn't give it away very easily. There's a lot of things you could break down. Ability to smell, buried deep underground. This is trying to make sure. Yeah, it is a mono-type Pokemon. It's got the hidden ability Unnerve. It stands at 5 foot 11 inches. Actually, that's as tall. Well, that's 1 inch taller than me. That's interesting. I'm trying to think. If there were salmon in the Pokemon game, I think this Pokemon would go after it. I feel like that gives it away, but we'll see. I'm trying to think what are the hints. It is oh my gosh. Is it Gen 2? Yes, I believe it's a Gen 2 Pokemon. I'm fairly positive on that. And you don't see a whole lot of cards for this Pokemon. But it evolves from something adorably cute. Okay. I don't know what other hints I could give you without giving it away, so we're just going to go ahead and lock in your answer. Whatever answer you could think of, leave it there. Let's check to see if you're right or wrong. The Pokedex entry, once more, says, with its ability to distinguish any smell, it unfailingly finds all food buried deep underground. Without further ado, the Pokemon for this episode is none other than Ursaring. Number 217, Ursaring. The salmon thing, right? Bears eat salmon going up a river. That's what I was trying to go for. What else was I trying to say? Gen 2 Pokemon evolves from something adorably cute. Teddy Ursa's adorably cute. Evolves into this big giant grizzly bear, brown bear, whatever they want to call it. And I'm trying to think. I think those were mainly the hints I was trying to emphasize there. But let's go ahead and read off some of the trivia here according to Bulbapedia. And lo and behold, there's a couple of things. They're pretty long, but there's a couple of trivia bullet points here. So the first one, Ursaring and Donphan, along with their pre-evolved forms, are the only Pokemon to swap version-exclusive status between localizations. While Teddy Ursa and Ursaring are found only in the Japanese and Korean Silver, they are not found in Silver in other languages, being found in the Gold version of those languages instead, with Phanpy and Donphan getting the opposite treatment. This is corrected in the remakes Heart Gold and Soul Silver, where they follow the Japanese and Korean Gold and Silver. Okay, interesting. You couldn't get it. Well, I mean, if you got those, what is it, Korean Gold and Silver, then you could get them. You can complete the Pokédex on your own, at least for that part. But otherwise, you're gonna have to definitely trade. to get the exclusives. Ursarine's number of claws has changed over time and between canons. In its original artwork, Ursaring has 4 visible claws. However, in its Heart Gold and Soul Silver artwork, it has 5 claws. In the Generation 2 games, it has 3 claws. That's very confusing very fast. From Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire up to and including Pokemon Platinum, it has 4 claws. From Heart Gold and Soul Silver onwards, Ursaring has had 5 claws in its game sprites. In the anime, it has always had 5 claws. So, note to self, check the last Pokemon game you played and then see how many claws it has. And I would almost want to say that it's that. I wonder if they're doing it on purpose, because why did it change so much? I don't know. If they're just claws. Yeah, but they're pretty long. Ursaring is a pretty good Pokemon. I started to, appreciate his design more. I don't know why exactly. It's not like we had a community, but there was like a Teddy Ursa spotlight in which I collected a lot of Teddy Ursa. I got my Ursaring. Ursaring's cool. Ursaring's not that bad. I dig the whole moon thing going on its stomach. And it looks pretty proud of itself. I give Ursaring a thumbs up there. Alright, that's pretty much it. Short and sweet episode. Thank you guys for listening. Much appreciated. If you want to get a hold of me on social media, you can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SpartanStrike07. Or if you just want to write me an email, bring up topics for me to talk about, things you want opinions on, you can go ahead and email me at SpartanStrike07@gmail.com. Hopefully, again, that you guys are enjoying Arceus, or safe travels if you're going to pick up Arceus. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know down in the comments what you think of the game, who you picked as your starter Pokemon. And then hopefully I'll have quite a bit to say next week, or at least the next time I publish an episode about Legends of Arceus. So thank you very much. And I will talk to you guys next week to continue talking about everything Pokemon.